Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact set of reactions. Today we have two requested from Zadresky of all people. It's been a while since I've seen Zadresky around, but this is Hints from the Moonshadow and The Mushroom Creeps In. As far as I'm aware, neither of these songs are related and from different parts of the game entirely, so that's never really been like a hard and fast rule. It's just usually they're paired up, so it's kind of nice to just have two that are a little bit more, varied in their sound most likely, and I guess I have to hear what they sound like. So without further ado, let's go! Both of these are also pretty short ones, so I'm gonna see how much they can cram into this short playtime. The all too familiar sound of Nod Cry. Ooh. Ooh. That's a different blend of atmosphere. Ooh. That whatever instrument that is there. It almost just sounds like a muted string, a very soft pluck. And there we are. Okay, like I said, very familiar, very Nod Cry as expected from the Nod Cry album, but this one definitely had some more unique flair to it than what I've been getting recently. So that last statement might have sounded a little bit like I don't think Nod Cry sounds very unique, and that's couldn't be further from the truth, truly, but like this one had a different energy to it from the mass of other songs I've listened to from that area. Each area, of course, of the world has its own unique identity, and even within those areas, there's little unique subsects of that, like, the world they live in obviously will have different influences in different parts of it. I mean, we play through this, we can jump and teleport around and run around in a few minutes, but like in world, that would be days of travel for most other people, and for us, it's just not as, scaled up because we need to have a playable experience. As much as I think that it would be kind of cool to spend like a few actual days in game just actually traveling through that distance, it would definitely sour a lot of people's experience. There is a little bit of that would be cool, though, you have to admit, at least for the right crowd. Either way, though, the point is still there. These are very different areas. They have different influences, and these minor cultural shifts, these different sounds would be happening even within the regions that they're, like, rooted from. You're still going to have a little bit of everything, just like how rock and roll and jazz came from kind of the same pocket of music. You're going to be having these little variants in them. That exact same relationship would happen with like the place where all those like fallen moon things are, like the one that's pictured in the album cover of this music. It would sound completely different from like where the Fatui are in that area. It's like we know that those are very different locations. They sound very different. This one almost kind of sounded like a blend of those two areas in a way. Like we still had that like spiritual sort of feeling, that like light airiness, that feeling that there's like a detachment from earth and things are a little bit more like, floaty, I suppose, in sound. And a lot of that is just the strings. But then there were aspects of this one that felt a little bit, just a smidge more industrial. So I wonder if this wouldn't be playing like in a traversal area between those spots, and it's just like the sound that would be happening like in the spans between there. I mean, it very well could be related to a character or something too. I think the comment said something about this being like a domain song maybe, which would make sense as well, because if you're doing a domain, that is a more like, I would say like an ethereal plane within that area, and it's kind of supposed to encompass a lot of that influence and not just stick to one specific style or one specific influence. So having that variety identity in a song like this that's supposed to exist kind of like in a pocket dimension of sorts that would be borrowing just a little bit. It wasn't even like exclusively one spot versus the other. It was just a soft blend of the overall sound that this area has, that Nod Cry has. And I think that's really neat. Just like taking the idea of, hey, we know that the domains that are here technically exist within that area and that part of the map and that part of the world, but then going, well, we also know that this doesn't belong exclusively to the spot you're standing in where the gate is that you access it. So, you know, maybe let's borrow from the greater idea of what the music would sound like, that larger identity, the overall viewpoint of Nod Cry. And I think that's really neat too. Largely, the rest of it was very much the same of what I've talked about in many other Nod Cry videos, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. Just some beautiful string work and some nice like little things, like that one part where it like transitioned from the harsher string, like the harsher harp or whatever was being played there. I think it was a harp. And then they like got softer with it, like the pianissimo of that, like just really soft plucks. It really felt interesting. It almost felt like a hammered dulcimer potentially, and then like very soft taps on that just to get that dynamic range in there, and kind of makes the whole song feel a little bit more like how kind of I reacted to it, was like, ooh, you know, just there's little intricacies and differences in the sound. So having that in there in a place that's supposed to be this intricate pocket dimension within the greater area is just a cool approach to that. I really like that a lot. But now I have to listen to how the mushroom is going to creep in, because that's such a weird title. The mushroom creeps in. Like, what would that even mean? I think this would be from the Natlan part of the game, from the cover art here. I've heard other songs from this collection, so I think that was Natlan stuff, but I'm also not exactly sure, so that's my best guess. But either way, I need to listen to it. So without further ado, let's go. Immediately a different vibe. You hear that like buzzing in there. That doesn't exist in Nod Cry. That like just a texture floor doesn't really exist in Nod Cry. Yeah, this is Natlan for sure. Those flutes are almost a dead giveaway. Oh, I like that pulsing there. The percussive sections in these songs, the focus on percussion in this area, every time. Ooh. That was a rain stick, I think. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. It's been a while since I've heard a rain stick in anything. Let's fucking go. Oh man, it's so cool getting to hear both of these locations and like their influences and their inspiration very close together, like back to back like this. That's so neat. So another banger from Natlan, right? Like, who would have guessed? Like I said, this is really cool getting to hear these two different areas side by side, back to back, because you don't really notice everything when you're just listening to all in the one area and then all in the other area. That's why I was starting to get like a Nod Cry fatigue a little bit a while ago, about a month ago. And I'm just like, you know what? I want to hear something a little bit different. And for this to have like a song that is completely identifiably unique compared to the other one I just listened to. As much as I do really enjoy them both for different reasons, I can also love them together for that exact reason. The fact that I get to hear those little details that I never would have really thought about had I not listened to them back to back, like that texture that this area has that the other doesn't. Nodcry doesn't really have a texture floor. It doesn't have a percussive section that really adds this like grittiness, this like earthy sort of vibe underneath all of the music and all of the melody. It's just, you know, like beautiful melodies and harmonies, and as gorgeous as that sounds, it just misses this texture. And while that's perfectly fine for Nodcry, like that's its identity, this is Natlan's identity. That's also why I love Natlan so much and the music in it specifically. I do love Nodcry too, but Natlan's gonna hold a special place in my heart just for the fact that it uses a lot of percussion, and I have a little bit of a bias, can you blame me? But it's even down to the little things in the percussion that I was really loving, like the shakers that were in there constantly. Those patterns were very static and steady. They never really gave up the whole way through. They were very constant. And then you also have like the rain stick. Like, again, I don't hear rain sticks too often. They're not super well utilized in general. Like, why would you ever need to use one? When would you ever use one? That's the bigger question, you know? It's just like, you don't think about these things. But when you're making music for a place that has those inspirations, that influence, you need to include that, especially this like gritty sort of like grinding texture that's underneath everything. It's like a pulsating, a very quick like reverberation going on under there, and it's just like, whoa. Like, again, that's a texture floor that Nodcry doesn't have. So getting to hear these side by side is really neat. The melody in this one was gorgeous too, because it's just like, it's playing all of it on each other. Like the instruments are playing off each other a little bit better, whereas Nodcry, they're all a unit more collectively. And this is a little bit more like individual things with the flutes and the percussion stuff, all those different layers of percussion kind of doing their own thing. They're all sticking to the same count, obviously. It's not like they're doing 50 different things, but they're also doing that together with different rhythmic patterns. So it makes this deeper, more intricate flair in the song itself and making it feel a little bit more, again, tactile. It feels a little bit more gritty and real compared to Nodcry that sounds a lot more flighty and ethereal. It sounds detached from Earth, like I said earlier, where this Natlan is the texture of Earth. That sound is so fucking cool. And again, being able to hear these side by side, I was noticing things I never would have. So that's probably my favorite part of doing both of these together. Thank you very much for doing this, Sadredsky. I did not think I was going to even notice stuff like that, and I wouldn't have if we didn't get two songs from two different areas put together like this. But I think I'm done yapping about that for now, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you have something else you want me to get to from Genshin Impact, of course, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!